Good evening, students. So today we are going to try out a question from Petty Cash book. So with this, we will be preparing the Petty Cash book and the respective ledger accounts, and we will be posting the entries as well. So as we finish off this, we will be finishing off the lesson Cash book and Petty Cash book. Okay. So let's start it. Following are the information regarding payments of petty cash payment of the business of NetMini during the month of March 2025. Petty cash impressed was rupees 2000 which was received on 1st March 2025. Okay, so petty cash impressed has been received for 20,000. Okay, and there are certain expenses: postal charges, traveling expenses, refreshment expenses, stamps, traveling, and Vimukti, tri-show, carriage inverts, refreshments, pencils, cleaning expenses, and finally expense reimbursement. Okay, how the petty cash book is prepared with the analysis columns of postal charges. Now they have given it. Okay, postal charges, traveling expenses, entertainment expenses, miscellaneous expenses, and other ledger accounts, and how they are posted to the ledger account are depicted as follows. Now, in the exam, if we receive a question like this, one thing that can happen is they will give you the analysis columns. Okay, they will give you the analysis columns. Okay, if this is the case, it's pretty easy. Okay, if this is the case, it's pretty easy. The other thing is they might not give you analysis column. Okay. Then if this is the case, then we will have to segregate expenses into different columns, different analysis columns. We will have to read it out and we will have to categorize it. Okay. But most probably you will receive the analysis columns and even sometimes the structure, and it could be just filling the gaps. Okay. Uh, so take couple of minutes. Okay. Now this is the structure of the petty cash book. You can initially draw it, and then let's start entering those entries and passing those entries into petty cash book and other respective ledger accounts. Okay, so take couple of minutes and try it out. Start trying it out. Okay, now we are going to start the question. Okay, so first you will have to prepare the petty cash book. So petty cash book structure we already learned, or the format. So it starts with the received column, then ledger folio. Okay, it starts with received column, then ledger folio, date and description, respective voucher number, the payment amounts, and then you have the analysis columns. Okay, then now here we have postal expenses, traveling expenses, entertaining expenses, miscellaneous expenses, and if there are any ledger accounts, that ledger accounts, and finally the page number. Okay, so we have debit side this side, and we have credit side this side. Okay, so we learned petty cash book performs dual functions. One is it acts as the prime entry book, so you record transactions for initially there, and the next one is it also functions as a ledger account. See, we have the debit side. Okay, see, we have the debit side and credit side. Okay, so the initial transaction is, let's use this card. Petty cash impressed was rupees 2000 which was received on 1st March 2025. Okay, now can you remember, okay, can you remember we did can you see it? Okay, can you remember we studied about these entries, petty cash transactions are recorded based on following double entries. When petty cash imprest is received and the reimbursement is made, what do? We debit the petty cash book and we credit the cash book. Okay, we debit the petty cash book and we credit the cash book. Okay, so to start with, okay. So now here we have received petty cash imprest of rupees 2000 on 1st March 2025. So we have received 2000. Okay, we have received 2000. What is the date? 1st March. Description is cash. So this is the, so we have debited the petty cash book as we receive the petty cash imprest. Okay, and on the other hand we will have to pass the credit entry. To where should we pass the credit entry? We will have to pass the credit entry to cash book. Okay, cash book. So we have to credit the cash book. Okay. So we have to credit the cash book. We will put the date 1st March 2025 petty cash book. And the amount credited is 2000. Okay, so the double entry, the both entries of the transactions are being passed. We credit the cash book because cash book balance is coming down, and on the other hand we are debiting the petty cash book. Okay, okay. Then the first transaction. Okay, on 4th March postal charges is 120. See, now here the amount is very small, 120, 160, likewise. Okay, amount is very small. Okay, okay. So on 4th, so on 4th March, I have the postal charge. Okay, and voucher number is 1. That is 120, and I have to include it to respective analysis column. Now here it will be the postal charges. Okay, here it will be the postal charges. Then we are moving on to the second transaction. 5th March, we have a traveling expense. We have a traveling expense. We have a traveling expense and voucher number is 2. Traveling expense amount is 160. And now we have to include it to the respective analysis column. So it comes under travel, 160. Okay. Then 8th March. So we have refreshment. Voucher number is 3. Refreshment expense is 260. Okay. Now here refreshments we are including under entertainment. Okay. That is something which is coming with the practice as well. Sometimes you might think it could be included to miscellaneous column. No, but we are usually including the refreshments under the entertainment. Okay. So under entertainment, we include 260. Done. Then we have on 10th March, stamp. Stamp. So voucher number is 4. Payment amount is 140. So that also come under what? Postal charges. Okay. Postal charges. It is also coming under postal charges. Then we have on 15th March, on 15th March, we have a traveling expense, a traveling expense, which is 60. Okay, so we include it under analysis column travel, right? Then on 18th March, so there is another one. Now this is little tricky. To Vimukti, to Vimukti, right? Now to Vimukti, they have made a payment of 200. So ideally, Vimukti could be a creditor. No, Vimukti is a creditor. So we have taken some goods from him for credit and we have to pay him. Okay. Now Vimukti cannot be included under postal charges, not under traveling, entertaining, or miscellaneous. Then it should be under a separate ledger account. Okay. So Vimukti has to be included in a separate ledger account. Okay. So ledger account, we are including it as 200. Okay. Now I want to tell you a small thing. Okay. Now if we are including something in a different ledger account, now see, when we are doing this, when we were starting this, when we were passing this entry, okay, reimbursement of cash, we straight away posted the double entries. Okay, we credited the cash book and we debited the petty cash book. But up until now, for all these transactions, okay, we entered only a one part, the credit part. Okay, I did not pass a debit entry. The reason is, like, how we do it in the petty cash book is we are passing now we have credited the petty cash book. Now see, we learned this point. The payments credited in the petty cash book should be debited in the relevant ledger accounts. The totals of the each analysis column should be posted to relevant ledger accounts. Okay. The total of the each analysis column should be posted to relevant ledger accounts. According to the double entries, relevant expense account we have to debit, the petty cash book we have to credit. So the crediting of petty cash book is already done. See, this is credit side. So that crediting of petty cash book is already done. Now to debit this, we will have to total out the we will have to total the postal column, traveling column, entertainment, miscellaneous, and then only we will be debiting it. But here, in this case of Vimukti, okay, in this case of Vimukti, it is a separate ledger account. It is a separate ledger account. So we cannot total them. For example, let's say we might get another entry in this analysis column, but it could not be Vimukti's account. It could be some other account. Okay, we will get something like that into the future. So what I would do is, now I pass the credit entry. Okay, I pass the credit entry and I will be passing the debit entry as well. Okay, so Vimukti, 18th March, petty cash book, and amount is 200. Okay, amount is 200. Okay, it's done. So Vimukti is completed. Then we have a on 22nd March, we have a trishow charge. We have a trishow charge which is 240 and it will go under traveling expenses. Okay, it will go under traveling expenses. And then on 25th March, Okay, on 25th March, we have a carriage inwards. Now, carriage inward amount is 200. Now, carriage inwards cannot be included under postal expenses, traveling expenses, entertainment, or miscellaneous. So, travel this carriage inwards will also have to be included under a separate ledger account. Okay, so we are posting it here. Now, if you can remember, see now, I think we already learned about this. Let me see whether I can find it. See, now when we were studying the theory, we already studied about this. Okay. I think I cannot. So any other expenses which cannot be included in any of the analysis columns, okay, but need to be separately posted to the ledger accounts are recorded in the column name as other ledger account column. And what are the example? Cash paid to creditors, purchase of assets of small value, and carriage inwards. Okay, so this carriage inwards, it has to be recorded in another ledger account. Okay, so carriage inwards, we will be recording it in a ledger account. Okay, so we will be putting up another ledger, carriage inwards. We have credited the petty cash book. Now we have to debit the respective expense account. So it is on 25th March. Petty cash and amount is 200. Okay, done. Then we are coming to 26th March. 26th March, refreshment expenses. Voucher number is 9. Amount is 180. And refreshments expenses, we will be including it under what? We will be including it under entertainment expenses. Entertainment expenses. Okay. Okay. Then on 28th March, we have pens and pencils. Pen and pencil. Now, that expense is 150. So, postal charge, we cannot include travel, entertainment, we cannot include it under them. But we can include it under miscellaneous expenses. Now, pens and pencils are not a small asset as well. So, we need not to include it in the ledger account also. So, we will be including it under miscellaneous expenses. 150. Okay, 150. Miscellaneous expenses 150. Okay, that is also done. Then on 30th March, okay, we have cleaning expenses. We have cleaning expenses which is 200, which is 200. Now this cleaning expenses also we will be including it under miscellaneous expenses. Okay, we will be including it under miscellaneous expenses. Okay, now if we look at all these transactions we entered so far, okay, this entire thing, now we have another one remaining, okay. On 1st of April, expenses have been reimbursed, okay. Now this entry, okay, so we passed both the double entries, okay, and this Vimukti's one, we passed both the double entries. Carriage inwards, we passed both the double entries, okay. So this has been taken care of, this has been taken care of, this has been taken care of, okay. So for those three entries we have already posted the double entries. Now for others, other expenses that we have credited here, okay, other expenses that we have credited here, all these things that we have credited here, we will have to pass the double entry, okay. We will have to pass the debit entry of the double entry. We have already passed the credit entry here in the petty cash book, okay. Here we have passed the credit entry in the petty cash book. Now we have to pass the debit entry. To do that we will have to total them, okay. To do that we will have to total them, okay. So let's total them. So you can total uh, the total payments column, okay. You can total the total payments column will add up to 1910, okay, total of the payments column. So postal charges is, it will be 260. Traveling expenses, it will be 460. Entertainment, it will be 440. Miscellaneous, it will be 350. And ledger accounts, it will be 400, okay. So those will be the totals, okay. Those will be the totals, okay. Those will be the totals. And now we will have to balance off the account at the month end. So to balance off account, see, now here we have 1910, here we have 2000, so we have to balance off 2000. Now here also 2000. So 2000 minus this 1910 will be 90, okay. So balance carried down will be 90. Balance carried down will be 90. And this carried down balance will be brought forward here. Balance brought forward. So this is on 31st March. On 1st April 90. Okay. Now here they have told on 1st April expenses are reimbursed. Okay. So I will keep it for now. Okay. Now I have totaled this analysis columns, and these I will have to post to ledgers, okay. Now I have passed the credit entry of the double entry. Now I will have to pass the debit entry of the double entry. So I will have to post it to respective ledger accounts, okay. So we are at the point where we have passed the double entries of these three transactions now, okay. These three transactions, okay. We this petty cash impressed, Vimukti, and carriage inwards. So both the debit and credit entries are passed in these three transactions. Okay, if you can see cash book and Vimukti's account and then carriage inwards account. Okay, but we have the other transactions that we have to pass the double entry. Now the credit entry we have already passed. Okay, to pass the double entry of these, we will have to total the analysis column and then we will have to post it to respective ledger accounts. Okay, so we have postal account. So we have credited the petty cash book. Now we have to debit the respective expenses account. So postal charges or okay, debit and credit postal expenses. So 31st March petty cash, and how much it was? 260. So I have to pass it to postal expenses account. Okay. Okay. It's done. Now travel. Travel we have 460. Okay. So we have to post it to ledger. Ledger posting. LP is ledger posting. Travel 460. So travel, we have to debit the account. Okay. Petty cash and 31st March. Okay. So both the entries are being passed. Now we have entertainment 440. Ledger posting. Entertainment 440. Entertainment 440. Petty cash 31st March. Okay, it's also done. Then we have miscellaneous account, ledger posting, right? Ledger posting 350. Miscellaneous expenses, debit and credit amounts for 350. Petty cash 31st March 2025. Okay. Once we do that, then we have posted both the double entries of all the entries. Okay. Now this one is also okay, right? These are also okay. Now we have passed the double entries. We will mark it in different color. Okay, we have passed the double entries. Okay, now all good. Okay, now during the session, I also received a question as to what is this 90? Oh, how do you get this 90? That is simply balancing off of the account. Now this is a ledger account. Petty cash book is a ledger account. Okay, on the debit hand side, we have 2000. Okay, credit side, we have 1910. So the difference between the debit side and the credit side, we will have to carry it forward. So what is the difference between the debit side and credit side? Okay, debit side we have 2000, debit side we have 2000, and credit side we have 1910, and the difference is 90. That is how we derive this 90. Okay, that is how we derive this 90. Okay, this 90. So we will be carrying it forward, and balance brought forward is 90 on the 1st of April. Right. Now, then on the 1st of April, we will have to reimburse the petty cash interest. Okay. We will have to reimburse the petty cash interest. So, what is the reimbursed amount? What is the reimbursed amount? Reimbursed amount is simply the expenses we have made over the month of January, that is 1910. Or else you can also take it as the petty cash interest is 2000 and uh, balance available in the petty cash is 90, and then the difference is 1910. So this will be the reimbursement amount. Okay, so 1910 on 1st March you will reimburse. Okay, you will reimburse. Okay, now for this we will have to pass the double entry. So we are going to the cash book. 1st April 2024. Petty cash book. Amount is 1910. So debit entry is here, credit entry is here. Okay. So likewise, we have passed all the entries respect to this exercise. Okay. All the entries respect to this exercise. So let's take a couple of minutes and see how it is. Okay. Let's do it. Okay, so all the entries are correct. So let me reiterate. Okay, now when you have this reimbursement, okay, when you have this reimbursement, and if there are any transaction that is being posted to a ledger, okay, then pass the both entries of the double entry as you record this. Okay, all the other expenses that will fall into different analysis column. So you will be passing the credit entries here and then total and post it to respective expenses account. Total and post it to respective ledger account. Here it is postal account, here it is travel account, entertainment, miscellaneous, likewise. Okay. And then finally you will have to balance off the account. Okay. So this is the debit side. Okay. This is the debit side value. This is the credit side value. So you will have to balance off. And after balancing off, you will have to reimburse the petty cash interest. You will have to reimburse the petty cash interest. So with that, we will be concluding the petty cash book exercise. So with that, we will be finishing off petty cash book section. Okay. So over the last couple of weeks, we did cash book and petty cash book. So now we know how to record if the business receives or if business is paying some amount of cash. Now we know how to record it in the accounts, cash book, the receipt and payments of cash. How to record it in the cash book? Now we know how to record it in the petty cash book. We know. Now the petty cash book, the important thing is it comes in a different structure. So I suggest you now prepare it on a sort of like A4 paper. Write this format and keep it in a place where you can always see. Okay, write this format and keep it so you will see it again and again, and you can then remember the format. Okay. So with that, I'll be finishing off today's lesson. And if there are any questions, I will stay online so you can ask me the question. Thank you so much.